Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP army. So all eyes on Powell's big speech tomorrow. Fed Chair Jerome Powell will deliver a major Jackson Hole speech tomorrow. He's set to address the U.S. economic outlook, tariffs, and the Fed's next move, all while facing pressure for a rate cut. Markets will be watching closely. Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP army. Appreciate all the love, but do expect, based off of this, do expect some volatility leading to this meeting itself. And again, I think we're already starting to see a lot of volatility within the crypto markets. I'm sure you guys are aware of that if you follow the channel. But let's take a look at what's happening across the board. OKB coin continuing to outpace the broader market. I'm going to make an update on OKB because I've been getting some requests. But anyhow, if you're looking at the last 1 hour, that's what I want you guys to focus on. The last 1 hour looks quite strong for the crypto space right now. We're seeing quite a bit of green across the board, 1 to 2% bounce for multiple coins. XRP up about 0.5%. But if you're looking at XRP on the 24-hour scale, still down about 3.3% in USD, down 2% in Bitcoin comparative, price $2.85, valuation making its way back below $170 billion. Right now we're sitting at $169.4 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $4.4 billion. But as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. But take a look at this. Odds of the federal rate cut in September have dropped to 75.3%, with Powell set to speak tomorrow. And I think this could even go lower tomorrow, leading up to the meeting itself. And we're going to hear what he has to say. I still personally project, September is going to be a rate cut, maybe a 25 BPS one. Obviously, some people want a full percent to be cut, but I think that just doesn't make sense. But maybe, a 0.25 to 0.5 BPS rate cut, I think, is still inevitable. But we might see this number changing over the next, a week or two to come. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. I want you guys to buckle up. Obviously, next few hours, of course, leading up to this meeting itself are very, very important. With that said, while there's so much uncertainty across the board, retail losing hope for, crypto once again. We saw the numbers last night if you did end up watching it. Bitcoin whales scooped up 16,000 plus Bitcoin during the recent dip, signaling a potential local bottom and short-term reversal. And we did actually retest a very key level for Bitcoin that we've been talking about, which I'll highlight in this update. But take a look at this. JP Morgan is actively releasing projections on the anticipated capital inflows, and XRP ETP could attract once it secures trading approval. They call it sizing up the XRP ETP opportunity. So of course, pretty much what they're projecting, if you want to kind of take a look at this, pretty much saying that, we will see inflows coming in from ETH and Bitcoin into the likes of Solana and XRP ETPs once, of course, the approval for trading goes live. And they're thinking about $3 to $8 billion. And I agree with that, based off of people like that already have exposure to these ETFs, when it comes to, or ETP even, if it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, they want other exposure. And when they see newer altcoins come in on board and projects that are not just like random coins that actually don't have a use case, the likes of XRP, the likes of Solana, I have no doubts. Again, I'm just a YouTuber that is analyzing and sharing my own perspective, my own opinion to you guys. But there's a lot of analysts out there, financial analysts that work for some of these companies that are projecting something similar to occur. But again, we got to take it one step at a time. But this is quite a bullish statement, and I think we want to be paying very close attention to this. But look at this: Ripple plus Cross River and FedNow. Remember how FedNow and RippleNet kind of can work together. If you want to know, I'm sure, again, if you're an XRP holder or a Ripple follower, you know how this system really works. But with the ISO standard, remember, both RippleNet and FedNow is ISO compliant. So So this pretty much means RippleNet and FedNow can easily exchange information about payments because of course both follow the same standard. And all these interconnected things are starting to make all sense, but yet people still tend to forget about this. But again, I'm sure the XRP army is paying attention. But this right here got a lot of people talking. So a giant billboard just dropped in NYC, and that's XRP MasterCard, which is going to be launching this month on the 25th. And you can see issued by WebBank, teased by Gemini, prepare your bags. Mass adoption for XRP is coming fast. So pretty much from what I've read as of now, it means that, you could actually use your XRP with this card. Yes, that's right. MasterCard. So it will be a card, I think, at payment terminals if you have XRP holdings. Now, this kind of makes you get rid of using your dollars. And I think RLUSD might be integrated with this as well. Let me know in the comments if you guys know about that. I didn't really read into that, but XRP, like if you are an XRP holder and you actually want to spend your XRP now, let's say you want to go buy yourself something. Let's say you want to actually go buy yourself like a nice chocolate bar or groceries. You can actually use your XRP that you've been accumulating, and it kind of gets rid of, we talk about getting rid of using fiat currency. This is a perfect example. This is a perfect example, and our right move in the right direction. And guess what? This is happening in the US. US resident can do this. Huge, huge stuff right here. And on top of that, CFTC acting chair Caroline Pham today announced the agency next crypto sprint to implement recommendations for the White House crypto report. Pham says the push alongside SEC government project crypto answers Trump's call for U.S. leadership on spot plus retail trading. Stakeholders engagement starts today. Public comments due October 20th. And in terms of timeline, as you know, October is what a lot of people are keeping an eye out on. But let's take a look at what's happening with the markets. If you're looking at the Bitcoin dominance here, you can see this right here. It's at 59.48%. We have pulled down. And we can clearly see that for yourself. From yesterday, we have seen quite a sharp pullback for the dominance, sitting at 59.48%, but we're still ranging around this level, which is nice to see. But Bitcoin, on the other hand, let's give it a refresh live here. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's just give it a refresh live. Okay, so Bitcoin saw a double bottom. There we have it, guys. We were talking about a double bottom at $112,000. That actually did end up happening. And we have seen a little bit of a bounce since then. But in a grand scheme of things, even though we have seen a little bit of a bounce, nothing to be getting overly excited about. I am anticipating volatility still. And the fact that we're not at 115K range, I still think more downside could still be in play, which might not be a bad thing. A little bit of a shakeup before heading towards the upside could be nice. And I still do believe, based off of where we're currently sitting, I still think, 107,000 is not an unrealistic thing to be looking out for. And again, if you want to put this into perspective, that would mean a move of about 5%, meaning altcoins could go down about 8 to 10%. And if you want to put XRP into that perspective, like potentially what we could see, XRP could see a retracement down to this neckline of the 23.6 as well. So we could still see this being retested, something we actually haven't seen since the beginning of July. So that should tell you how important it is. But first and foremost, we do have some support around the 273. Even though Bitcoin has reached a double bottom, this gave us a confirmation. I stated to you guys before, due to the dominance being lower than where it was on August 2nd, it's helping XRP. And this should tell you how strong XRP is holding. Yes, we're still below the $3 price point, but obviously we need to keep the overall market perspective into consideration. I'll keep you guys covered. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Love you all. See you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.